I'll start with Tony at Trek Movie.
Hello, Kate. Ella was talking about how each of the characters learns something and their arc is facilitated by Hologram Janeway. Does Hologram Janeway also have her own arc, her own goals and interests, or is she mostly there to guide the kids?
Initially, very good question. Thank you. Initially, she's there for purposes of mentorship and guidance. But you soon come to understand that she is leading them in an unexpected way. And I don't think that I'm allowed to tell you how that is. I think that's a spoiler, right, Jen? It's a spoiler. Yeah. So suffice it to say that the hologram is very much like Captain Janeway, has many of her traits and all of her sort of better qualities. And the kids respond to those qualities accordingly. So it's not as if they're responding to some sort of machine. It's very much a collaboration, and it's a very felt relationship she has with these kids. Otherwise, they wouldn't listen, right? What kid listens to an adult who's shouting at them or sternly reprimanding them or simply telling them what to do? A kid listens when the adult is interested in the kid. And that's what Hologram Janeway is with all of these kids.
Thank you.
Next gig at LRM Online.
Yes. Kate, hey, congratulations for being back in Star Trek. How much more of the personality will we see with Captain Janeway, or are we just going to get this feel of like an educational software that she's designed to be?
No, as I said a moment ago, that would be futile, to use a good Star Trek expression. She must be fully alive. She must be endowed with vitality, with heart, with a capacity for warmth, great warmth and affection. Also discernment. She likes some better than she likes others. She responds to some more positively than she does to others, and vice versa. So there's nothing clinical about this hologram, nor would it work if it were. It has to be alive, and she is very, very alive. It wouldn't be interesting to me. Do you understand that? As a voice actor, why would I do it? I mean, it has to be. It has to resonate. It has to have all of her human qualities, of course.
Excellent. Thank you.
Ashley at Fangirlish.
Kate, you've done voice work in the past, notably Batman the Animated Series, Gargoyles. What is it like performing a character that you've previously played live action?
Easy. Delightfully and refreshingly easy, which is a wonderful gift after having worked so hard for 7 years to create the real Captain Janeway. To have her in my pocket like that, and to have her spring out with such alacrity and such vivacity pleases me very much. And it's a pleasure. And at this point in time, 26 years later, it should be nothing short of a pleasure.
Thank you.
Great. Next, Brittany from Nerds and Beyond.
Hi. So the world, I think, is like really ready for the return of Janeway. Can we perhaps hope that maybe the world is now ready for the return of Mrs. Columbo as well? Joking aside, how did it feel when they approached you about returning to the role? What was your thought process like?
I gave it a minute, even though the phone call came directly from Alex Kurtzman, and he is someone I admire very much. I like his intelligence. I like the way he thinks. I love his love of Star Trek, because often in a producer creator, that those two things are not necessarily compatible. In him, they are very, very much so. But I had to sit on it for a minute, because my creation of Catherine Janeway was not only wholly invested, but I have to tell you, very, very defining. And that was a decade of my life that never ended. It just keeps going on and on. So the significance of Janeway is very apparent to me. And if I'm going to step into some recording booth and bring her to life again, I better understand that. So after considering that for about, 2 days, I said, I'd love to do it. And it's been great.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Aaron at Trekcore.
Hi, Kate. Thanks for your time today. With this version of Janeway being an animated form rather than live action, I was wondering if you had any input on the design of her animated character as they were working to finalize her look for the show.
Oh, that's a wonderful question. And I have to tell you that we were in very close collaboration because it's important to me that my physical features be exaggerated in just the right way. It's easy to get that wrong, but these animators did it beautifully so that the eyes are a little enhanced. The face, I think itself is a little shortened, a little square. The mouth is more facile. Children need to respond to, the eyes, the mouth, and every inch and step of the way, from the hair, which was diabolically difficult for real Janeway. And these guys, Kevin and Dan Hageman, are just terrific to work with. They, there's a genius to animation that I haven't given enough thought to myself. And being a part of this is teaching me that it's a very rare and very excellent form of art. I mean, it's a craftsmanship that I have to stand back and sort of say, wow, these are men who are not only incredibly smart and very, very gifted, but who can somehow enter into the imagination of a 6-year-old kid and produce the dialogue that would be in accordance to that personality. It's wonderful, wonderful to be a part of it. I'm learning.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, you. Yes, let's have that man who's holding up his hand.
Let's have John at Screen Rant.
Hello, it's a real honor to speak to you today. So with Star Trek Prodigy, Captain Janeway is going to be the captain and an inspiration for a whole new young generation of fans. Can you tell us what that means to you personally?
It means a lot to me. It means the world to me, which is why I agreed to do it. And especially because it is children. In my experience with Star Trek, the targeted audience has always been sort of 20 to whatever,
Yes.
To go into the minds of the young will be thrilling. And I'm so surprised we didn't do this earlier. That Star Trek didn't do this earlier. And I'm absolutely delighted and honored to be the one to take it in because, as I've said now a few times, who would absorb this more readily than a young mind? I mean, this is this kind of philosophy, the whole Prime Directive, the idea of Prime Directive is kid stuff 101. Let me be noble. Let me be fine. Let me be happy in being great. Do you know? That's what children aspire to. And that's what we're going to give them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great. Next, we'll have Aaron at Trek Geeks.
Hi, thank you. This may have been covered a little bit, but this question is from Emily, who is a 12-year-old co-host of Discovery Trek. And she said, Voyager was my first Star Trek. How different will Janeway be on Prodigy, given that she's a hologram?
Well, she's animated. It's a distinct difference. You'll have to tell Emily. I'm not real in this one, but all of the characteristics and all of the virtues and some of the flaws are much in evidence. The essential Janeway is there. That's the whole point. That's what was so provocative and what will prove to be so evocative about this Janeway. She embodies what was real, and she's, I think, giving this demographic something through the genre that is not real. So it's a kind of extraordinary sleight of hand, if you will.
You.
All right, and then we have Jonna at Gazeta News. I didn't know if your reaction button was working.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Hi, Kate. Thank you so much. My 10-year-old had a blast watching the episode that he watched with me, so their reaction was really good. And how do you think that the rest of like the episodes kids are gonna react to? How we can expect from the rest of the remaining episodes?
Well, I think it's only going to get better and better. I watched today for the first time. It's one thing in the booth, I don't see all of the animatics. I watched the entire thing today for the first time, the first 2 episodes. And I could see distinctly, I mean, the development of it. As the characters are introduced, you've got to hang in, you've got to really pay attention. I mean, that requires a certain concentration. This is this character, this is what this character will represent, this is blah, 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 blah. And then Janeway appears at the end suddenly, and you know that something terrific is going to happen. And indeed it does, because what happens is she's going to help them motivate that starship into life and into its proper direction. Thrilling.
Thank you.